Welcome to Agenda Edina, a news program summarizing the actions taken at City Hall that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. The City Council will set a preliminary tax levy for 2012 at its September 6th meeting. Last month, staff presented the Council with two scenarios for the 2012 budget. The first option was a proposal that extends current city service levels into 2012 and 2013, with a few changes in employee compensation, energy costs, and equipment upgrades. The other option, described as a sort of wish list, included increases in staff, service levels, new programs, and other new ideas recommended by department heads. At that time, the council members indicated support for a preliminary tax levy ranging from 2.75 to 3.5%. Since then, City Manager Scott Neal has been working to prepare a 2012 budget proposal that attempts to balance input and feedback from council members and department heads.
It's a priority from our City Council this year to increase the level of outreach we make to residents to get them involved in our process. I think that's important. I've reached out to the Citizens League of Minnesota. It's a group that is pretty good with public process. We're talking with them right now. They're developing a process for us, and I'm looking forward to their involvement.
The council is expected to adopt the 2012 budget in December. Filling a role that had been vacant for nearly a year, Karen Kurt began work last month as Assistant City Manager. Kurt spent the month familiarizing herself with the city. Edina 16 producer Steve Christensen has more about one of the city's latest hires.
Good morning, this is Karen.
Karen Kurt is already hard at work getting familiar with her new position for the city.
There's a lot to learn, but the people have been very welcoming. It's obviously a beautiful, wonderful community.
As the former Human Resources Manager for Eden Prairie, Karen's new title will take her in a new direction.
It's a transition in terms of maybe some of the content of the job or some of the types of projects I'll be doing. So that's exciting for me because that's the new thing, that's the new challenge.
City Manager Scott Neal and Karen are no strangers, working together in Eden Prairie for a number of years.
And I think the fact that we've already had a long, successful working relationship has been one where she's been able to come in and start working right away. In terms of getting to know me and who I am and how I work, she already knows that pretty well.
So what is the definition of an Edina Assistant City Manager?
In my mind, I'm sort of a right hand to the city manager, and I'm somebody who will fill in his absence. When Scott obviously can't handle all the potential projects that the city needs to tackle, then I would take on some of those projects, and particularly projects that might have more of an internal focus.
Above all else, a very bright person, a very smart person. She's interested in municipal government. She is interested in Edina.
I'm excited to be here. It's a wonderful community. I've been really impressed with everyone I've met so far.
For Edina 16, I'm Steve Christensen.
A new Human Resources Director also began work in August. Lisa Schaefer comes to the city from the League of Minnesota Cities, where she worked since 2006 as Human Resources Manager. Edina is working to develop a program for financing energy efficiency investments. Property Assessed Clean Energy, or PACE, is a method of financing energy efficiency investments through special property tax assessments. Minnesota state law allows cities to establish such a program with 11 program requirements, including establishing financing terms that do not exceed the useful life of the project or 20 years, completing an energy audit or feasibility study, and performance verification of at least 10% of the energy improvements, and disclosing to borrowers the risks involved in borrowing, including risk of foreclosure if taxes are not paid. The city can use a third-party lending institution or act as the lender by issuing bonds.
What's important for business owners and property owners in Edina to realize is that you can do these improvements to your property without any investment whatsoever, and you can realize that net positive effect starting day one.
Staff will develop a local PACE program proposal and present it to the Energy and Environment Commission for members' review and comment. Then it will advance to the City Council for final review and consideration later this year. The city is moving forward with a solar panel project for a municipal building. Last year, the Energy and Environment Commission worked with staff to procure a grant from the Department of Energy. City staff hired the consulting firm of McKinstry to develop an RFP for the solar project and develop a preliminary cost breakdown. Because the overall project's rate of return could not exceed financing terms, McKinstry investigated various energy-saving measures at city facilities. These projects were bundled into an energy efficiency package, which included the solar panels. Even with the bundling, it did not look as if the project would be economically feasible due to the low energy rates paid for City Hall. In late July, though, staff was approached by the solar panel supplier and installer, stating that the product had decreased in price. Prices were substantially lower than the previous bid.
The original bids came back to where the rate of return was not very good, which would have exceeded the financing terms, and the project was not going to move forward.
After applying the local government renewable energy grant and energy rebates, the low bid will result in no out-of-pocket costs for the city and a positive cash flow of about $1,500 per year. Capping off a busy summer of education and outreach, the Energy and Environment Commission hosted an Eco Yard and Garden Tour in late July, showcasing examples of local properties that are outstanding examples of sustainability. Edina 16's Max Orenstein was on the tour to show us more.
I've been gardening since I was a small kid, so it's just something I'm born to do.
Edina resident Mark Campbell may not have the biggest plot of land, but he does have a lot of plants.
Here I've got 525 different varieties of hostas, 75 different varieties of fruit, an assortment of peonies, daylilies, vegetables, and herbs.
The way he cares for these plants.
What I'm doing here is introducing vegetable kitchen scrap to the worm compost bin.
Is by using Mother Earth.
There's that one. And once all the vegetable matter has been eaten by the worms, their castings or their poop is then harvested for fertilizer.
On this day, Campbell, along with a few other residents, have opened up their homes for the first ever Edina Eco Yard and Garden Tour.
But it's such a pretty color that and so that's my magenta spring.
The purpose of the event is to educate residents on eco-friendly methods they can use to help conserve resources and help out planet Earth at the same time.
Definitely got some planting ideas. We got some irrigation ideas. The first house has a really terrific drip irrigation system.
In Mark's case, he makes sure his plants are environmentally friendly, starting from the ground up.
This is all just a labor of love for me. It's a hobby, and it's all just something I enjoy. When I come home from work, I putt around in the garden, and it's just my pastime.
For Edina 16, I'm Max Orenstein.
5 yards and gardens were featured on the 2011 Edina Eco Tour. Features displayed included drip irrigation, rain barrels, rainwater capture systems for lawn and garden watering, geo-exchange ground loop systems for heating and cooling the home, solar panels, composting, and residentially grown organic food. Proceeds from the event will be used to support Edina Park projects such as tree plantings and noxious weed control. Still to come, the Edina Police K-9s are put to the test. But first, an update on the Grandview small area planning process when we return.
Anyone can be as cool as a supermodel with Saver Switch. On the hottest days of the year, Excel Energy's Saver Switch cycles your air conditioner on and off. The difference is just a degree or two, but it helps everyone on the days when it's needed most. Join Saver Switch now at responsiblebynature.com. You'll earn a 15% credit on the electric energy part of your summer bill for participating and being cool. Not all parks have a superhero on duty, so it's up to you to keep parks and trails smoke-free.
Welcome back to Agenda Edina. A team of consultants has been selected to work on the small area plan for the Grandview district. Last year, a community advisory team made up of Edina residents led a process to determine the future of the city's former public works site on Eden Avenue and the area surrounding it. The group met several times during the spring of 2010 and developed 7 guiding principles for the area. At the time the principles were adopted, the Edina City Council also agreed to embark on a small area planning process for the area and retain ownership of the city's public works property until after a study is complete. The resident-led planning process began in April. Bruce Jacobson of Close Landscape Architecture and Mike Lamb of Cunningham Group Architecture were selected in August by the residents to be lead consultants on the project. Other consultants include Jack Brose of H.R. Green, Antonio Roselle of Community Design Group, and Tony Schertler of Springstead. Together they will study land use, community needs, transportation, and market analysis and finance.
We've been fortunate to be able to engage a team of consulting experts to help us in that task. These are folks who have considerable expertise in design, transportation, finance, that are going to help us be able to figure out a plan for the future of this area that makes it the kind of place that people will not only want to go to, but stay at.
A grant through the Metropolitan Council's Livable Communities Demonstration Act will defray the costs of the year-long planning process. The Edina Park Board is looking for volunteers for 2 new working groups. The Park Board recently established the Donations and Naming Working Group and the User Fee Working Group. The Donations and Naming Working Group will propose policies and procedures for naming and renaming city parks and facilities and accepting donations. The User Fee Working Group will evaluate current fee scales and costs associated with facility use, while also developing policy that may be currently lacking for potential user groups.
We're excited to ask residents to participate in these working groups because we know Edina residents are very knowledgeable, have great experience that they can volunteer and give to help our park board members make good decisions.
Those residents interested in serving on a working group should contact the Park and Recreation Department. With children returning to school this month, it won't be long before they are cramming for exams. Although they didn't need number 2 pencils, the Edina Police Canines recently took their tests too. Edina 16's Scott Denfeld has more.
90 canine units from all over the metro gathered in Minneapolis to show off their police skills and to earn the right to keep catching bad guys.
Minneapolis Canine Unit is hosting, it's an annual Region 12 United States Police Canine Association field trial. And what the trial consists of is 6 different events in which the dogs have to show proficiency to achieve a certification to work the street.
By no means is certification a minimum. It's actually a high standard that dogs have to meet in order to do the things they do every day. So.
At the Region 12 Canine Trials, Edina Police Officer Jason Bear and his partner Blade braved the heat to achieve certification.
It was scorching hot. It happened to be 115-degree heat index that day. No matter how much energy you have, that heat with their winter coats on, with their fur coats on, still takes out quite a bit of energy. So I actually had some dog Gatorade, some stuff with electrolytes and stuff like that to give him so he could stay hydrated. Obviously try to keep him in the car as much as possible. That's where it's cold. That's where his kennel is. So,
along with Edina Police Officer Mike Seeger and his partner Diesel, Officer Bear and Blade participated in a number of trials.
Our first event was agility, which is the stuff that you see behind me here. And from agility went to boxes, which is another thing you see behind me, which is actually a suspect search.
According to Officer Bear, the key to success, beyond having a dog who is specially bred for police work, is training and learning.
I'm part of a group that trains in the South Metro, and we kind of use those resources of some of the more experienced handlers that have been around for a long time to help, especially when we're building up a new handler like myself.
Yeah, it's a good boy.
The key to training dogs is consistency and just having fun with them.
All of that training paid off, and by the end of the trials, the new canine team performed successfully, and along with Officer Seeger and Diesel, were certified to continue keeping Edina safe. For Edina 16, I'm Scott Denfeld.
This year's Region 12 Canine Trials were hosted by the City of Minneapolis Canine Unit. Kids in Edina learn safety firsthand at Edina's Safety Camp, but much more goes into planning all the fun and games than meets the eye. Edina 16's Jordan Gilgenbach has more.
Officer Jason Bear.
One day each summer, a group of firefighters and police officers trade in their uniforms for t-shirts and spend their day with fourth graders.
We plan all year long for this one-day event. We have meetings throughout the year.
The firefighters and police officers, along with park and recreation staff, organize Safety Camp to teach kids how to stay safe on the water, around electricity, in vehicles, and when strangers are present.
6 of us in the planning, what we call our Safety Camp Committee, and so we have representatives from police, fire, and park and rec, and Deb here from the training center.
1 firefighter, 1 police officer, and 2 park and recreation staff serve as team leaders for each group at Safety Camp. Fire Marshal Tom Jensen's favorite part is watching the kids' amazement. To help make Safety Camp even more amazing and effective, he also likes hearing from those team leaders.
They're not afraid to tell us what doesn't work, and that's what makes us feel good, that they can do some constructive criticism, say, you need to fix this.
Jensen also receives immediate gratification at the end of the day.
The feedback is right here. Parents even saying thank you. That was great.
Jensen, along with police officer Nicole Pesic, want these kids to learn from the best, which sometimes proves to be a challenge.
Making sure everybody's schedules, everybody's on vacation in the summer, so trying to find speakers to speak at Safety Camp.
Many speakers and staff share the same passion for teaching safety as Jensen and Pesic. They continue to show their support by returning year after year.
They want to be here and teach. They know how important it is to get the message out to these fourth graders.
One thing's for sure, according to Officer Pesic, planning Safety Camp is worth every minute.
I love seeing the look on the kids' face when they come to Safety Camp and the different events that they do.
With Aaron Klein, I'm Jordan Gilgenbach for Edina 16.
The 2012 Safety Camp will be in late July or early August. For more information, contact Edina's Park and Recreation Department. The month-long annual Members Juried Art Exhibition attracts artists from Edina and beyond who submit their best original art for exhibition, juried competition, and sale at the Art Center's premier annual event. The Edina Art Center will open its 27th annual Members Juried Art Exhibition September 29th. Entries include drawings, paintings, pottery, sculpture, photography, and mixed media.
The mission of the Juried Art Show is to provide a safe environment for all the members who are here to display their art. And there's a lot of members who are tenured artists, master artists, and a lot of people that are kind of new to displaying their art. And so it's to provide them with an opportunity to have their pieces judged and have people come from the community and just take a look at all their art that's around at the Edina Art Center.
A reception will take place opening day from 5 to 8 p.m. with judges' critiques at 6 p.m., during which time artists, members, and visitors will enjoy the expansive display of works, live music, and refreshments. Before we go, we want to highlight some of the many upcoming events in our community. Edina City Hall will be closed Monday, September 5th in observance of Labor Day. The annual Fall into the Arts Festival will be held Saturday, September 10th and Sunday, September 11th at Centennial Lakes Park. More than 125 artists from around the Midwest will display and sell their work at the 8th annual festival. The Edina Art Center's Journeys Healing Through Art exhibit continues through September 14th. The show features 2- and 3-dimensional artwork expressing personal healing in art created by artists of all ages. The show features the work of Edina resident and healing arts facilitator Donna Webb and that of her students. The Farmers Market at Centennial Lakes Park is underway, held 3 to 7 p.m. every Thursday through September 29th. The Edina City Council will hold a town hall meeting at 10 a.m. to noon Saturday, October 1st at the Edina Senior Center. Get involved and share your views with the city this fall. Thanks for watching this month's episode of Agenda Edina. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty.